Welcome to Fresh Take on French. This is a beautiful hunting lodge home originally that we ripped apart and totally renovated every square inch. This great room space has been pushed out from the original floor plan. It was in about another 5 feet and we popped that out all the way and added these big windows that go all the way up to the second story. We wanted to show off the volume of the space with the fireplace. This is a massive limestone fireplace. It's so beautiful and I love that it's actually like a real wood burning. It has a very authentic feeling to it. We added these custom built-ins on either side. And I wanted them to feel very old-fashioned. We have a ton of pretty ivory books in here when we styled this. It gives a lot of extra storage too, and you can even store firewood underneath. Because this space was so large, we opted to do kind of a different approach to the seating and dining. We went for a back-to-back sofa with this sofa facing the fireplace and chairs, so you have a seating area here. And then this sofa actually is part of your dining room set. That just creates a really soft dining space, which I think is just so pretty and also just really comfortable. Who doesn't want to sit in that? This space right here used to be a fireplace, but it really chopped up the flow and it kind of created a lack of a casual dining area. So we took that out and we did this built-in bench. This little back piece we had custom made. It was quite the feat getting it in, but it turned out so good and it just gives a softer padded feeling. Also draws your eyes up so it doesn't feel too short in the space. This hutch was custom made. We wanted it to feel freestanding again. We had this arched top. We took it away from the wall to give that illusion. It gives tons of storage for like your chinaware, anything you want to display. The kitchen's something kind of crazy to talk about because right here used to be the entrance into the primary suite. So we took that out because it just didn't really make any sense, and who wants to walk into your bedroom from the kitchen? So we've closed this off, we made that into an office, and then we've got this really cool armoire set up for the fridge, this beautiful island with this quartzite that has this lovely slate blue vein running through it, a custom piece by Urban Electric. We didn't want to do different pendants, so we did this one piece that kind of acts like 4 pendants, which is really fun. And then this really beautiful Ilve range and kind of a charcoal that has a little bit of a slate blue cast to it. We didn't want to do a traditional hood. We wanted to take a little bit more of a French approach. So we have our plaster hood here that has the clipped corners and with a little bit of this oak beam running through to tie in some of the wood elements that are throughout the house. We have a really pretty pantry just behind the casual seating in the kitchen. This pantry, we did not want it to feel left out of the glamour and the elegance of the rest of the house. We did opt for a very quiet quartzite. This also matches the perimeter in the kitchen with a pretty little edge detail. We have a gorgeous little mosaic marble and travertine floor. And I love this little petite pattern wallpaper we did in here. It just kind of softens the look. There's no drywall in this house that's exposed. Every inch is covered either with a wall covering or a plaster or wood. And so we didn't want to let this pantry feel left out from all that detail that the rest of the house has. This is our laundry room. And again, we didn't want any inch of this house to feel left out. So we have a beautiful marble mosaic floor and a wall covering that's just a really subtle linen pattern. The linen pattern just felt like it made sense in a laundry room. We have built-in cabinetry. One thing I've really been loving is to put the washer and dryers up a little bit higher so you don't have to bend over. There is some slab underneath there supporting it and also just keeping the cabinetry safe from water. There's storage underneath. We also have a slab shelf up here with things that you can access easy, some tall storage for brooms or dustpans or vacuums or anything like that you might need. And then we have a really fun island that we did with seating on both sides so that if you're in here and you need to use this as like a project room or an overflow from the kitchen for catering events, you have a nice bar that you can sit at and a table space you can work at. This is the mudroom space. It doesn't come off the garage, it actually comes off of the back patio area. And then these steps go up to the gym on the second level. This was a fun space to do. We wanted a little bit more playful, a little bit more casual. We did this really cool tile that has a plaid pattern on it. And then our lockers, we incorporated more of a rustic wood with a metal grate, so there was a little bit more airflow for anything that might come out of the hot tub area or from outside. You can kind of put everything here. There's a vaulted room behind here that has some really beautiful cabinetry as well. So this is just kind of a coming and going spot that we didn't want to feel forgotten. This office space was originally the primary suite, but it wasn't big enough, and the location of it is right next to the kitchen, which just felt odd and not very private, but it's a perfect spot for a main level office. We made some modifications and created this really beautiful room. We want it to be moody, we want it to be masculine. This piece is fantastic because it's built in, but we wanted it to look like it was a freestanding library, kind of like an old-fashioned library piece. We lit it, we have like a pretty seated glass. We opted to paint this room in this really pretty slate blue gray, and we did the whole ceiling, everything. We wanted kind of a color-drenched feeling. So our windows, our trim, our baseboards, ceiling, everything is in that color. There is an ensuite bathroom too, which is kind of nice, and we opted for a menswear pattern on the walls, just to kind of keep that feeling cohesive so we didn't break the mood. This is the main level guest suite. No guest should ever feel like they're not special, so we wanted to make this room feel just as special as the rest of the house. We have this really cool wallpaper that has like a faux panel on it. It's from Cole & Sons. We want to be playful with the carpet, so we have this pattern carpet, but it still is kind of like this really soft wool that feels kind of sweater-like under your feet. We added in just some fun kind of equestrian prints on the pillows, just a nod to the property that has horses on it. A tufted headboard. Upholstered headboards just always feel more soft and welcoming. They're easier to sit up against, so I love to do those. Some pretty crocheted blankets. And then we also have an ensuite bathroom, where we just wanted it kind of to be light and bright in here. We have some pretty floor-length draperies though to soften it, and a lovely rug. I love the hardware we did in here from Rocky Mountain Hardware. Just like these little details just really make a difference. One thing that we were very aware of early on in the process is that we were going to end up with a lot of wall space. Even though we have really big windows, we still were going to have a lot of wall space. So we wanted that wall space to be special. We opted for a plaster finish on all the walls, which just adds this beautiful depth that you don't get with a standard paint and drywall. And we decided we would plan ahead and do all these gallery walls. We pre-wired for the pretty art lighting, and we even have like a gallery wall in the staircase. We have some in the bunks. We just kind of use that theme throughout to keep it from being not too boring, also keep it looking collected. This might be the sweetest little nursery I've ever seen. We wanted to just keep it so soft and dreamy. We have these beautiful cloud wallpaper that's by Cole & Sons, and we built this cabinetry so that you could put your crib in the middle, but then like when the child's grown up and is bigger, we can put a queen size bed in here. Or if the house sells and has a different owner, it doesn't have to be a nursery. So, and then this doubles as our closet space in here. So you've got closet in a creative way. I love the little arch detail. Got our favorite little sheep from Interlude. We love this fabric. This is from S. Harris, this little gold upholstered bee. Just adds a little bit more whimsy, but it's still soft. We kind of finished the room up with some cute little Beatrix Potter, little Peter Cottontail prints, and a beautiful little bone inlay dresser piece that can also have a changing tabletop put on the top of it. I want to show you this bathroom. This is the sweetest little space. We are all in love with it. The stone is this gorgeous aqua quartzite that we were just obsessed with. It really was kind of the inspiration for the color tones of this room. We matched the cabinetry to it, and just like beautiful little details like this ribbon. This is a hardware from Rocky Mountain Hardware. It just is soft, it's elegant. This tile was actually a major feat to get in. It's really tricky because this is glass and it comes with a paper on the top. So when they install it, they put it down with the paper on it. You can't really see it very well. And then they have to soak that paper and peel it up. So it was really difficult, but they did a fantastic job, and it's so pretty. We have this glazed tile that we set with like a soldier course and then a running bond pattern, just to kind of switch it up a little bit, and kind of these fun little sconces for visual comfort with the little star detail, just kind of nodding to that's a little bit more of a whimsical, youthful space. Now standing in the master suite. This whole entire upper level was completely redone. We moved all the walls around to create a better, proper primary space. The thing that I love most about this is all of this detailed wall paneling. The color that we painted in is just the softest, warmest gray, and it just adds so much texture and elegance to the space. We didn't want to leave the ceiling bare. We didn't just want to have a drywall ceiling when we have this beautiful finish work on the walls. So we have an anaglypta wallpaper, which is an embossed wallpaper that's paintable. So it was painted out the same color of the walls. This massive chandelier is just so cool. It's just elegant. It kind of helps just create a stately feeling in here. I love the height of this headboard. Again, just kind of drawing our eyes up, mimicking the length of the paneling on the walls. Master bathroom is really pretty. Let's walk in here for a minute. This space again looked nothing like this before. All the walls have been moved, so it's completely different. We have another really beautiful quartzite. We wanted this piece to look like it was a freestanding dresser. So we have it up off the ground with this pretty apron toe kick. And then I love this detail that we incorporated for the backsplash with this OG edge. Also have the OG edge running along the edge of the countertop. We have this really cool freestanding tub, but the shower is just to die for. It really is the showpiece. It's the jewel box of this space because it's just the slab walls. We opted to do the bench completely freestanding, so it doesn't tie into the walls at all. It didn't interrupt our glass line. We didn't have to come down and jog over. We left it just like a freestanding marble bench, and I think it turned out really neat. These cabinets that we did, we had a structural beam here, so we had to work around this, but we wanted to capitalize on every inch that we could for storage. So we came up with these two bonnet-topped armoire type pieces that are built in. We did some really fun hardware that's a little bit more vintage, some pretty bin poles and a bronze. It just serves as a lovely added storage for the space. This room, we want it to feel a little bit more masculine, but really, really cozy. When you look at the wallpaper up close, it's like this little itty bitty herringbone that's kind of in a flannel material. It's so pretty and cozy. We wanted the bed to feel just as cozy as the walls, so we have some fun like cable knit sweater looking blankets, boucle pillows. I love the plaid. We love plaid at Bond. When we walk into this bathroom, we have this really neat tub. This is actually a metal clad tub, and then it's cast iron, and it's just so fun, and it fit the space perfect because we wanted to do these built-in cabinets where the windows punch out, so it created a perfect little spot for this tub. This is the top floor of the house, and it's the bunk room. Before we started renovation on this room was way different. It had a lot smaller square footage that we could use, and so we actually took the whole roof off, lifted it, and now there's even a little surprise little loft up above this space. But let me show you some things that I love about it. So we wanted to have this be sort of multi-purpose. It's going to serve as like the family room, media space, game room, but also with bunks. So we created two separate private bunk rooms that are behind these sliding barn doors. So when you open this up, you have these little intimate suites. We did 2 queens in each space, and we've got like a cute little window seat. We've got fun little drawers underneath for just extra storage. And then in this one over here, we actually were able to get in a built-in chest of drawers and some shelving. I love the plaid wallpaper that we did. It's actually a plaid printed on top of a grass cloth, so it's really textural and fun. And it's just this cozy, soft space. We wanted it to feel like it was equally for girls or boys or adults. We wanted to kind of just branch through the ages. We have a really fun game table, and we have a foosball table, the big sectional, big TV, and then we also have a bathroom. Because the space was actually really tricky design, we spent hours and hours trying to figure this area out. We opted to bring the sink outside of the shower and the toilet area so that this could be used when someone was taking a shower, because you might have a lot of people in here. But we did this really fun utility sink, and we also took in mind little details like adding step stools for our little people so that they can reach. I love the two-tone aspect that we did in the cabinetry. All the walls are this really beautiful, muted, pale celadon color. It's very serene, and we did a lot of details. We did some shiplap here, and we did some boxed out shadow boxing around the sectional area. And then one of my funnest areas of this that I love so much is we have this little secret loft upstairs. It was tricky figuring out how to get access to it. This can actually pop out and roll out when you want to access, so that it's not so scary and straight and vertical to climb to get up into there, and then it locks into place when you're not using it. Thanks for walking through Fresh Take on French with me. It's one of our favorite spaces. And if you haven't seen the video about the guest house, which we call our Speakeasy, you need to check it out too, because it is totally unlike this space and unlike anything you've ever seen before.